this is on. Welcome back to my live stream. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is Jacob Cast 2024. Just want to say hit that like button, leave a comment. Please subscribe to my channel. My video is sponsored by PlayStation. It's sponsored by Solomon and JD from New York. Just Allen, Fightful Pro Wrestling, Good My Work Commentary. Lee Salcedo and Shanti Zab and comment. And No DQ. Just want to say thank you for watching. Thank you for all the support. Enjoy this live stream. We're going to go to Monday Night Raw, and then we'll talk a little bit of AEW WrestleDream, the pay-per-view on Saturday. But first, we're going to talk about Monday Night Raw. This live stream can be like an hour and 10 minutes long. I just want to say, now, make you guys go back and watch those NBA 2K26 My Career videos. And we know tomorrow the NBA season starts. Now, as for AEW WrestleDream, it was an embarrassing pay-per-view. Actually, wait, we know that tomorrow we have no, I think that's on Saturday. No, tomorrow's NXT. It's the go-home show for the pay-per-view on the 25th. I think on Sunday or Saturday. It might be Sunday. Where we got Halloween Havoc for NXT. The Hardy Boys are on there too. George Williams and Ricky Saints is on there. I don't have a match. Now we got AEW WrestleDream. It was an embarrassing pay-per-view. We did got a big return. We got Sting. He made a return and he turned heel. And on John Moxley and helped Darby Allin win. Another long show. WrestleDream was way too long. It was an embarrassing pay-per-view. We got here from the Hurt Business. There's also some news and rumors in Indie Mud Show. AEW couldn't handle criticism. Hold on.
One more guy. Say less. AEW had a pay-per-view.
AEW couldn't handle the criticism of their Indie Mud Show WrestleDream main event. AEW sent Amanda Huber, the wife of late Brody Lee, to attack another wrestling personality because they didn't like the WrestleDream main event between Moxley and Darby Allin. I don't know if Amanda knows what parents were trying to say in regards to the equipment, or if she's just stupid. But one thing for certain, AEW continued to drive away the audience with the refusal to handle criticism.
On Saturday, one of the most unnecessary, useless, soulless, lifeless, void of any creative shows that AEW has put on maybe in all 6 years of their existence. WrestleDream 2025.
Oh wait, hold on. My bad. God damn it! God damn it! I think I made a mistake. I don't think it was on. My bad. I am very sorry about that. I didn't have my microphone on, so you guys were not able to hear me. Very sorry about that. Technical difficulties. Make sure you guys skip ahead. And read this commentary. This is Jacob Cast 2024. We're going to do Monday Night Raw review. We're going to do the live stream. And then we're going to talk about AEW WrestleDream pay-per-view. We'll talk about the news and rumors on AEW and some on WWE. Hit that like button. Leave a comment. Please subscribe to my channel. Let me know in the comment section below. Leave a comment. Please subscribe to my channel. Enjoy this video. We are going to talk about Monday Night Raw. We'll talk about AEW, WrestleDream, the pay-per-view, and then we'll talk about maybe the petition for NXT Halloween Havoc on October 25th. I believe it's on Saturday or Sunday. It might be Saturday. We know the Go Home show is tomorrow night. We know Trick Williams, Ricky Saint will be there. The Hardy Boy will be on that show. Alright, now we can talk about also, my video is sponsored by PlayStation. It's sponsored by Chris Moon, Durant Brand, JD from New York, Salamonster Sound Off, Fightful Pro Wrestling, and other podcasters that I know of. AEW couldn't handle criticism of their Indies Month show, WrestleDream main event. AEW sent Amanda Huber, the wife of late Brody Lee, to attack another wrestling personality because they didn't like the AEW WrestleDream main event. Between John Moxley and Darby Allin, I don't know if Amanda knows what parents were trying to say in regard to the I Quit match, or is she just stupid, but one thing drives away. But one thing to be certain, AEW continued to drive away the audience with their refusal to handle criticism.
Then comes Sunday morning, and the troops, the valiant troops, the ones that wave the flag of AEW and they bleed AEW, they had to go to war for the company that they so love because they can't handle criticisms of what is obviously a shit product.
Hey, what the hell?
They can't handle criticisms of what obviously is a dying product. A product that is going this way and not going this way. Review that I paid $50. Fucking gym or sunlight in days.
Something wrong with my connection in the network here. I don't know why. Trying to show you guys all the other podcasters and the YouTubers. Trying to show you all the news and rumors.
If you're an illegal alien, this runway
Very
is
sorry
your
it's taking
future
so long.
because you're headed home. I'm Christine.
Trying to get the news and rumors here.
Put him into submission.
Alright, this is AEW by Andrade, the random act that a wild turn that everyone's looking at.
One of the major stories this week, just going to get right into it here. I mean, Seth Rollins being the other one, and I'm going to get to him a little bit later. It's nice to have actual real news to discuss, even though it's bad news. But one of the major stories this week concerns the status of Andrade El Idolo in AEW. Andrade, the first man to go from WWE to AEW, back to WWE, and then back to AEW, but now technically back to WWE before he ultimately ends up back in AEW. And if that sounds confusing, we may soon find out. I just got done talking about non-competes last month.
This Seth Rollins headed for surgery, time to trap the Rock
Over
at
to
the Bronze.
WWE and the main angle on Monday Night Raw, as well as plans for War Games and beyond, has been turned upside down after an
Come on now with this.
injury to the World Heavyweight Champion Seth Rollins at Crown Jewel. It happened on the coast-to-coast headbutt that Rollins delivered to Cody Rhodes. Rollins landed very hard on his shoulder. He was favoring his main event. And Tony also revealed, I mean, this was... He didn't spend enough time on Darby celebrating and taking it all in, you know, when the match was over. Because they ran so fucking long, which is another reason why shaving off 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there, would have helped, right? It felt like they rushed off the air because, of course, they did. I think it was 12:30 in the morning. They could have allowed that moment to linger a little bit more, but they had no time left. So it was not my favorite pay-per-view of the year or anything. I thought it was a strong show with the right end to the story in the main event. They had a big angle coming out of the world title match. They had a tag team title match that stole the show. And there wasn't anything egregiously bad outside of the length. You know, I will say, I think they have enough heel factions, though, in this company as it is. Now that the Ops appear to be heels, that's in addition to the Don Callis family and the Death Riders and the Demand. And who am I missing? LFI, right? They're a heel group. Maybe they use this as a way to get Eddie Kingston and Hook involved with the Ops, right? I don't know. We don't need any more heel factions, though, on this show. So on Wednesday, we have Okada against Bandito for the Continental title. We have the Ops defending their trios titles against the Hurt Syndicate. And they are going to reveal the brackets.
Alright, let's go into the Monday Night Raw review.
It was a good segment, as Dave Scheffler pointed out. It was intense.
Seth Rollins had been officially stripped of the World Heavyweight title. He had to get surgery. Alright, let's go into Joe Cronin.
Maybe I'm going, like a little too wild. Maybe that's too ridiculous. But, maybe there's a lot of other people that need to be, involved in some shit first. But, I don't know.
What the hell going on here? Jeez.
It's that
Domino's best deal ever.
Goddamn it, damn connection.
Any
These
topping for
stupid commercials.
$9.99. Parmesan stuffed crust pizza, which is in the
Try to let the podcaster in the super chat.
Either. But, like,
And Sean
from a
Watson.
tag team perspective, he is such a glue as well. There's this insane save by Dragon Lee where he jumps over JD McDonough after the coup de grace and saves AJ Styles. Then it looks like Finn Balor's going to do the Styles Clash, and AJ reverses it. This was fantastic. Like, Judgment Day has killer tag team matches. Obviously, AJ and Dragon Lee do. You have LWO there. You've got the Viking, or the War Raiders. I never get their names right. The War Raiders there. You've got the Creeds there. That's 5 teams. You got New Day there. That's 6 teams. Right off the top of my head, including the new El Grande Americanos as well. I mean, listen, I've long said this. I think Akira Tozawa and Otis should go to NXT.
I don't know why he keeps going through this.
Bring him on in. Yeah, and trust me, we're going to be having World Series coverage, I feel. We got a 2-1, right?
Alright, look on to our Denise.
Maybe, like...
For Dom. I'm hoping for Dom. But... Oh, wait, what's taking it down? No! And now Dominic creeping up behind Jay. Oh, my God! Okay, Dominic has to win this. Dominic has to win this. Come on. Come on. Come on, Dom. You got this, Dom. Heavyweight champion. Not bad, but again, like, I was, secretly hoping for, like, Dom or AJ. We need a graphic for this, by the way. I need to let, if I ever go to Japan, I'm going to look from afar, because I don't think I'll sign up for that.
No, trust me, Sarah got a kick out of Muscle Girls Bar. It's not a weird sexual thing. It sounds like a kinky thing. Okay, I'll say this.
But I don't want to get slapped, though.
I
don't think I've ever been slapped in my life, and I'm not ready for that.
Yeah, you don't have to get slapped. I wanted to get slapped. I wanted that experience. I'll say this, all right, about it not being like weirdly, like weird or sexual or anything. There were, because it's a show. It's not like an open bar where you go in. It's like an 80-minute show. There were like 15 of us, and it's important to note because that's an odd number. Everyone was a couple, boy, girl, and everyone was just having a good time with their significant other. And everyone was a foreigner from Australia, from France, United States, Canada. And then there was the one local Japanese Tokyo guy there by himself. And I know.
That is true. I didn't even think about that. We got Mitaro here who says, free Sancho, free Sancho. Yeah, people be trying to get him free to get him on.
Alright, let's go on to Just Alex. We'll have to wait till we get in.
Multiple reports, Elimination Chamber in Chicago. I don't want CM Punk to win a bout before then. Triple H has constantly teased Punk versus Cody. It should. Hey, Razor kind of makes some good points because, like I said, I was a little bummed out about the idea of it happening at Saturday night's main event. Now, also the other thing that I should bring up though, by the way, that opening promo today with the Vision and Adam Pearce. Okay, did you feel like it was a little awkward in the beginning with
Very
just how dead the crowd was when they were walking in? It was complete silence. I didn't like the way. I didn't like that part of the show. I didn't like the back and forth between Braun Breaker and Adam Pearce with the please say please. And someone brought up a good point saying like Pearce should have threatened Braun Breaker and say like, oh, I'll suspend you if you don't hand back the title. And the way he had to hand it back, I didn't like how that all felt though.
Denise, I'd like to stop you. The Blue Jays are going to the World Motherfucking Series. Let's go.
Congratulations.
Thank you. It's all me. It was because of me. I get where you're coming from. Here's where my biggest gripe about all of this with Braun Breaker, with the world title, stealing the title from Seth Rollins, arriving at the show with the world title, walking down to the ring with the world title. I know you're excited for a CM Punk run, but seeing WWE already creating this image of Braun Breaker as World Heavyweight Champion makes me feel, at the very minimum, that whoever wins at Saturday night's main event is just keeping it warm. That it's just an inevitable Braun Breaker run, and that WWE is kind of like artificially elongating when it's going to happen. Oh, we're going to wait until after Saturday night's main event, so we're just going to arbitrarily ban you from the Battle Royal, which makes no financial sense really when you think about it from like a storyline perspective. I found that a little bit weird. I wish that they didn't create all of these visualizations of Braun Breaker as world champion if they're just going to continue to push it off further into the future and not do anything here in the short term. In terms of the back and forth, I preferred the back and forth backstage between Paul Heyman and Adam Pearce, where Adam Pearce announced that they're not going to be in the Battle Royal. He was like an alpha general manager. That was pretty cool. But the in-ring stuff with hey, say it nicely and then I'll give it back to you, I don't really think that necessarily hit home too much.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. But here's the thing. If whoever wins the title, Jay or Punk, is keeping it warm, they're going to be keeping it warm for several months. I mean, WrestleMania is still a ways away. So, I'm okay with that. If we can get a couple of months of Punk as champion, because, come on, we've talked about it. He's getting older. We don't know how many chances there are left for this. We need to do this, man. We've been waiting far too long. We got Infamous Raider Loco who says, what she did to Chin was way worse, evil Denise. Oh, yeah, I played a horrible prank on Fortune to do on the NXT show. I told him that his favorite, Jada Parker, won when in reality it was Tatum Paxley. It was horrible. It was brutal. Yes Boy here says, Denise, you think I do what Santi say? Psh, please, Santi. Denise, don't put Sancho in the thumbnail. Denise, yes, Lord Santi, whatever you say. The fuck? Okay, to be fair, I was threatened, okay, very harshly by Santi. He's acting all innocent right now, but I was threatened. We got Razor. I feared for my life. We got Razor.
All right, Tony.
We got Razor here who says, I want Saturday night's main event to be Broad beating CM Punk so that we get Punk versus Cody at WrestleMania 42. For the WWE title, Santi had it as a prediction for WrestleMania 42. Razor loves Denise and Santi. Thank you so much, Razor. It's very nice of you. But yeah, that seems to be the big massive match that everybody wants to see. So it's good that we're on board with that. We got Ivan Bermudez here who says, are you enjoying the AI? It's all part of the AI. Well, to be fair, SmackDown was really good, and that was the day that the AI report came out, and suddenly we had this really good episode of SmackDown. So, hey, shout out to the AI.
Yeah, Booker of the Year.
Yeah, seriously. Thank you, Ivan. We got Ace Ship here who says Bronson didn't even do anything. Baldy just hated. So if you remember, Santi, he's actually been a hater hater of Braun Breaker from like the very beginning. Remember when he was before he was even Intercontinental Champion, he was kind of being weird about Braun Breaker, the way that he was treating him backstage, and Braun even called him out and was like, "Yo, what the fuck's your problem with me?" So he's been kind of beefing with Braun Breaker, like way before this, like subtly.
That's true. One more thing before we move on from like the Braun Breaker stuff. I found it interesting that they, and I touched on it already, that they tried so hard to make us all believe that in storyline it was Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed that took out Seth Rollins. Like they really try to hit that home. That in the world of storytelling is retconning, creating this narrative, this vision, no pun intended, that it was all Braun and Braun that did all this to Seth Rollins, when in reality, we all know it was what happened at Crown Jewel.
So, yeah, but they're, like, trying to, like, obviously make it into a story and the whole thing. I did like when CM Punk brought up the fact that he was still paranoid about, he was still sort of be like, oh, yeah, I don't buy this Seth Rollins injury, but then Wade Barrett kind of pulled out a nice card on CM Punk, because he said, oh, wow, why would he get the title stripped off of him? And I'm like, yo, Wade Barrett's making some good points, because he was just sacrificing the championship. So CM Punk didn't have a rebuttal to that one, so I thought that they did good with that one, because there's a lot of people that are not trusting this Seth Rollins injury because of what happened in the past. And by the way, we didn't even touch on the situation with Becky Lynch and Paul Heyman in the back. I was hoping we would get an interaction with them, and we did, because how is Becky just going to ignore the fact that Paul Heyman did this? And mind you, she was for a minute a part of the Vision. So seeing her confrontation with Paul Heyman, did you like this? Because I was a fan of how this went down.
I really liked it. I don't know how much I believed the message that Seth Rollins was always using Paul Heyman, that he never trusted Paul Heyman. I guess it's tough to just have to take it at face value of Becky Lynch saying it as opposed to hearing Seth Rollins say it, because it does sort of feel like they need to play all of those pieces immediately, right? Because Seth Rollins is not going to be around for a long time. Hey, let's just pull the band-aid of the entire relationship between Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman. There's nothing there to fix. Seth Rollins never even wanted it in the first place, says Becky Lynch, right? So they're trying to speed up some of these story beats so that they aren't lingering and so that we aren't waiting for answers or anything like that while we wait for Seth Rollins to return, which, by the way, tells me that this Seth Rollins injury is going to be gone for a long, long time. I like the segment. I thought it was cool. It would have played a little harder if it wasn't off the back of her having to get disqualified against Maxine Dupree. Maybe if it was like going to the match, I think that would have been a little bit cooler. But after the match, being all huffed and puffed and beat and like physically beaten by Maxine Dupree, it didn't hit as hard.
See, I didn't mind it after the match, because to me it felt like, okay, she's pissed off after everything that went down, because the way that she hit Maxine Dupree with the championship, it basically said, I can't beat this girl, so I got to take the cheap way out, because she just surprised me here, and she's actually kind of doing a good job, which, by the way, shout out to Maxine.
What are you doing up there? Oh, I'm just posting the number of visitors to the Homes.com network this month. It's become the go-to home shopping site.
Got another 14,000.
Wait, job. I'm a bigger. I've always liked Maxine. She seems very sweet. But now I'm like rooting for her. I look forward to these.
Yeah, Maxine is the perfect example of like how you should be using this Intercontinental Championship, right? Like giving these lesser known talents the ability to shine. I don't want Maxine to win the Intercontinental Championship. I'm certainly not in that camp. But it is cool that even if it doesn't lead to a PLE match or anything like that, that the title and Becky Lynch is being used to spotlight somebody that isn't just, the usual suspects that you usually would see against the Becky Lynch. Yeah, it's been good. It's been cool seeing the progression of Maxine Dupree.
Yeah, I kind of want to see her just continue to like climb, and I'm glad that she's improving. There's still a ways to go, but she definitely has improved. We got Randy Hayward here who says SRS was told AI is not writing stories. Yeah, apparently they're like implementing it, testing it. I hope they don't use AI. We got Stephen Marchuli here who says Roman returns, Jay wins world title, heel bloodline once again to close out Saturday night's main event. That's right. We haven't even talked about how Roman Reigns plays into all of this, so thank you, Steven, for that prediction. We got Razor here who says if Punk ever gets a belt, it should happen at a big show, not at Saturday night's main event. Denise, it's been cool to see your content since the X-Pac podcast. Happy for your success. Thank you so much, Razor. I appreciate you having been supporting since all the way back when, so thank you. We got Bob Ross Jr. here who says Santi's Chargers lost, Denise's Jets lost, my Steelers lost. We all had a rough Thursday to Sunday. Bro, this whole season has been rough for the Jets. It's been so bad, like depression mode. Thank you, Bob. We got AJ Tripp here who says, well, Brock and Goldberg maced up for their WrestleMania 20 match. Oh, man, that's a name I haven't heard in a hot second, AJ. It's Goldberg. Thank you, AJ. We got Sheldon Jackson here who says it's Denise versus Santi in the World Series. And that is true. The LA Dodgers versus the Toronto Blue Jays starting this Friday in Toronto. We should make a bet, Santi.
I'm down.
What kind of a bet do you want to do?
I'm trying to think if we can make
What's
the other
something
person
good?
wear something.
What's embarrassing? What's something embarrassing?
I don't know. We'll have to think on
Okay,
that.
we'll
But
think
there's
about
something
it.
here. We got to do something.
Okay, we'll think about this. All right, thank you, Sheldon.
I'm not
We got-
oiling up, Chad. That's not doing it.
They were like, we already know what you can do. Jacob Tatum says, are you disappointed still no AJ Lee since winning at WrestlePalooza? Plus thoughts on Becky Lynch, Paul Heyman interaction. Also great tonight, Raw. I think the crowd kind of took a lot away from the show, but there were some really great moments. I would give Raw today like a C+. And then disappointed I was expecting AJ Lee in the first Becky Lynch Maxine match. Then today someone told me she's in New York for Comic-Con or whatever. She's promoting her comic book, I think. So when someone told me that, I stopped expecting her. But there were fans today that were chanting AJ Lee's name after the Becky Lynch match.
It was supposed to be a CM Punk
I am a little, I don't know about
Is that you know?
We got AJ Lee as tag
Because they fucked up the calendar.
championship.
You would think we
And
would
we
get
haven't
fucking
even
Waller.
gotten
It was
into
supposed to
that.
happen.
Don't forget
One
that.
got hurt in his match
Yeah, I
with
mean,
Cody Rhodes.
Well,
Well,
I'll say
this
this
is
is
why
why
you don't
those
need a champ
Maxine
versus champion.
previews are
There's no
important,
reason for champion
right?
versus champion.
While
What the fuck
we
you
wait
find over
for
it?
the
You
big one, while
want
we
to
wait
crown you a
for
championship
the
for fucking
part-timers
scenes
to
on
come
this year.
back, we gotta fill in the time, fill the slot.
These
Where
working
Becky
champ
Lynch is
versus
doing
champ matches don't mean
different
shit.
views of
They're
Maxine
just like
3 is
Survivor
definitely
Series.
the way to go. Because
stop
I
doing
think it is inevitable that we are going to get AJ Lee and Becky Lynch.
And I agree, there's no
Like,
reason
think
for
about it. Like,
champ
do
versus
you really
champion
want
because
that
who
match
wins,
at
who
Saturday
loses.
night's main event? Do you really
Who
want
wins, who
that
loses.
match
And
at
what's
like
the
a
point of
small
doing a
show?
crown
Do you
jewel
really want that match
championship?
at Crown
It's not
Jewel?
gonna
No,
be seen until next year.
that's like a WrestleMania match. Like, I'm sorry to be the
We
one
don't
to
need
tell
champ
you,
versus champion.
but
The
that's
same
a
thing with
match that
Survivor
if
Series.
it does
That was
happen,
one
like,
of
we're
the
going to be
criticisms
waiting
about
for it.
Survivor Series.
I still thought that. I
People
thought
don't care
a
about
couple
Survivor
months, a
Series
couple
because it
weeks ago,
wasn't.
I thought we were
It's
going to
nothing
get
but
Becky
what are we
Lynch
fighting
versus
over?
Team AJ
It's
Lee
champ
at
versus champion.
War Games.
The
That's
best
where I was
storyline.
kind of headed a few weeks
What we
ago.
fighting
So,
over?
yeah, we'll see when she comes back. But when she does
Well,
come
back
back,
when
it'll feel
Vince
good. At
McMahon was
least it's
fucking
kind of
amazing.
like spaced out a little bit. You get some good moments.
At least
And we'll
here
wait
there
for
was
them.
a storyline.
We got Julius
And
Calloway
there was
here who
endless
says, stay on
history
vacation,
because you know these
Santi,
two
so
been
we
in the
get
ring
more
before.
ground-shifting
And I thought they
wrestling
had a great
moments.
match. That's
Also,
what two
congrats,
of them.
Santi, on the Blue Jays. As an San Francisco Giants fan, go Blue Jays, and fuck Los Angeles Dodgers. Julius!
I'll have you know, Denise, it's not even like Los Angeles versus Toronto. It's Los Angeles against the human race. Everyone is rooting against you guys. Except Japan. Japan loves the Dodgers.
Yeah, no, I don't blame them. Well, it's funny because, like, for me, well, it's a long story, but, like, I grew up a Dodgers fan, but then I married a diehard Oakland Athletics fan, but then when the MLB did the Oakland Athletics so dirty, my husband stopped watching. He said, I'm fucking done with the MLB, and it pissed me off to an extreme, and he no longer watches. So now I'm kind of stuck in this, like, weird, like, oh, shit, well, now, you know, I no longer support, unfortunately, the Athletics because of all the shit they did. So, you know, sad. It's very sad. They did the fans really dirty. Anyways, thank you, Julius. We got Nishi Emmanuel here who says, Punk must have a long, memorable title run. I hope so. Hey, we're hoping for it, Nishi. We got Infamous Radio Loco here who says, seeing Seahawks fans boo middle of Monday Night Football game because Mariners got eliminated is absolutely hilarious. We also got Sammy Sawanpai Boone who says, hey, Santi, did you know about Blue Jays win tonight's game? I love how our podcast just turned into sports.
Alright, let's go into the other podcasters. We got Good My Work Commentary with Greg Morgan. I'm gonna let him super chat.
House Ricky Zalbadar is here. Damon Smith, Danny Down Bad. Ben Espinoza, Stone Cold 10X, Colin Wright, Nate Dogg is here.
Because he just won the tag team title. Him out of the shot that tonight. Raw was in Sacramento. Hey, 10,000's a pretty good crowd. You know what they had in that building back in April? Over 14,000. In case you were wondering, have we fallen off the peak? The answer is yes, we have fallen off the peak. Still doing very well, but they have fallen off the peak. But tonight was all about the World Heavyweight Championship. We all saw what happened on the show last week. A major show-closing angle. Seth Rollins excommunicated from the Vision. Braun Breaker attacking. Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed standing united with Paul Heyman. What would be the update on Seth Rollins? Is he hurt? How badly is he hurt? Are they going to strip him of the World Heavyweight Championship? The only thing we knew coming into this show is that Adam Pearce would be making an announcement as it relates to the title. And he did. And that announcement was that Seth Rollins is hereby stripped of the World Heavyweight Championship. And tonight, there would be a battle royal. Because CM Punk was already crowned #1 contender last week. You can't screw him out of the shot that he earned, so he needs an opponent. How do you decide on an opponent? They decided that we're going to have a battle royal. And the winner of that battle royal would go on to wrestle Punk for the title in Salt Lake City, November 1st, on Saturday night's main event. And so we had this battle royal here on this show. Two men who were not in the battle royal, even though they were supposed to be. Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed. You were in the graphic. When they put the initial graphic up for the battle royal earlier in the show, they were part of it, and then they weren't. Because Adam Pearce made an executive decision midway through the show, and he let Paul Heyman know that his two men would not be in this battle royal. And I must say, even though I am a big proponent for strapping the rocket to Braun Breaker and using this as an opportunity to just launch him into that top spot, if it were me, I would put the championship on him. But as somebody who oftentimes will talk about, this doesn't make sense, that doesn't make sense, right? And I try as hard as I can, to my own detriment a lot of the time, to apply logic in an illogical world. I can appreciate the fact that they had Adam Pearce say, look, these men are responsible for my world champion being on the shelf for the next several months. These men are responsible for the fact that we no longer have a world heavyweight champion. We had to vacate the championship because of these two men. And so instead of rewarding them, what did he do? He bounced them out of the battle royal. That makes sense. It's a sensible decision that he made. I can't be mad at that. You can't reward bad behavior. All that being said, they went with the most boring choice to win the battle royal. Jey Uso is going to Saturday night's main event to wrestle CM Punk, which means CM Punk or Jey Uso is going to leave Salt Lake City, maybe, as the next World Heavyweight Champion. They went with Jey Uso, and the Battle Royal, by the way, I actually enjoyed. As Battle Royals go, I enjoyed it until we got to that finish. Now, I will say the storytelling was good. They've been telling this story now for weeks. Jimmy and Jay not quite on the same page. Jimmy being very upset with the way that Jay has been behaving. He is, really looking towards Roman Reigns a little too much in his view and trying to emulate him a little too much. Jimmy doesn't like that very much. And so, as they play this story out, what they did tonight was logical. And they set things up throughout the show. We had a backstage segment at one point with the two of them, and Jimmy said, look, I'm going to be in the Battle Royal, you're going to be in the Battle Royal. I'm going after everybody, he said. He kind of put the nail in his own coffin when he made that comment. Because in the end, it was Jey Uso, despite the fact that his brother saved him multiple times in his Battle Royal, who helped eliminate his brother and showed absolutely no regret for what he did. Right? And Jimmy was very upset about this when the match was over, even though it's every man for himself. And it was Jimmy Uso himself, earlier in the show, who told his brother, I'm coming after everybody, including you. So you know what, Big Jim? Too bad. He's got nothing to complain about here. but he was being a sourpuss at the end of the show, and he wasn't very happy that his brother, did what he did. So the storytelling is on point. I don't have an issue with that, but man, I mean, all the options they could have gone with, to me, they went with the least exciting and least interesting of them all. I don't really have any interest in seeing CM Punk against Jey Uso for the World Heavyweight Championship, or not, or in just a straight-up singles match, not for any championship at all. Because of all the choices they had, to go with the Usos is just very deflating. And the thing that I look at when I see who was in this Battle Royal, the name that stands out to me, I'm not even going to say LA Knight. There are a lot of LA Knight fans who are going to be very upset. LA Knight jobbed out again. I don't know why you torture yourselves so much. He ain't going to be the guy. They just don't see him that way. So this is going to continue to happen. I wasn't surprised that he wasn't in there at the end, but I saw that AJ Styles was in that Battle Royal. And I didn't realistically think it was going to be AJ because he just won the tag team titles tonight, and so is he really going to win the Battle Royal as well? Probably not. But you had AJ Styles in there. And it's been an AJ Styles love fest for the last few weeks, coming out of that match at Crown Jewel with John Cena, that great fucking match the two of them had. And AJ making it very clear that his career will also come to an end very soon in 2026. He may not even last the full year. We don't know when he's done next year. His contract may be done in February, although I'm sure he will not be done in February. He may be done at WrestleMania. We don't know. But he was just in Japan. His last Japanese tour, they had AJ Styles, the roster did, on their shoulders, parading him around, and it was, it was great to see them pay that level of respect to him, especially given the success that he had in Japan. But you're going to see more of this as the months go on. And one of the matches that I know a lot of people have asked me about it in like the mailbag and tweets, I hear about, wow, they're ever going to do CM Punk against AJ Styles one-on-one. Are we ever going to get it? And it kind of feels like it's now or never, because I don't know if that's in the cards for next year. You would think at some point next year, at least they would do the match. It doesn't look like they're going to have too many more opportunities to get it done, if they're going to do it. And you had an opportunity here to put together not just a match for the World Heavyweight Championship in 2 weeks, but a match that a lot of people would look at as a dream match. I hate even throwing that word around, but that's how some people would describe it, right? It's a match that they really want to see, and maybe they thought at one point it was never going to happen. And now you have a chance of making it happen. And you know that AJ's career is winding down, right? It's a match we haven't seen before in WWE. 2 fan favorites, just like we're going to get now with CM Punk and Jey Uso. So the dynamic is really no different. There are 2 baby faces in there. Punk and AJ for the World Heavyweight Championship. It writes itself, right? If you're not going to have Braun Breaker in there, that's the match that they should have done. And they didn't do it. And I really think that was a missed opportunity to do something special and something a little bit different. Instead of doing, all right, Punk and Usos, or even Punk and LA Knight. We've seen so many variations of this, in the last few months. It's just exhausting. But I am not fully convinced that we are going to get a new World Heavyweight Champion crowned anyway at Saturday night's main event. Because you have to expect that Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed are not going to let sleeping dogs lie. They're not going to let this match go on without there being some sort of interference, or something is going to happen. Now, maybe it happens next week, because we have one more Raw, I believe one more, before Saturday night's main event. And so maybe next week, they go around causing chaos and wrecking shop, and who knows? They could hold the show hostage until Adam Pearce agrees to put Braun Breaker in the match and they make it a triple threat match. You had CM Punk on commentary tonight joking about that, saying, I hate triple threat matches. Hate them. Who knows? Maybe they turned it into a triple threat. Maybe Braun Breaker ends up getting added anyway, even though it would go against everything that Adam Pearce talked about tonight when he did not put them in the Battle Royal to begin with. But I look ahead and I say, if that doesn't happen, they show up at Saturday night's main event, they interfere, nobody wins. Now, I know that would make for a pretty disappointing finish to the show, but I look ahead to Survivor Series, which is coming up at the end of next month. And they're doing these War Games matches, so that kind of I don't want to say makes it impossible, but it kind of makes it impossible. If they didn't have War Games advertised, this might be a little bit more realistic. But it's not lost on me that it's almost 20 years since the Deadly Game tournament that we had going into the Survivor Series. Another period of time where the WWE Championship, in that case, was vacant. The title was vacant. The title was actually vacant for a couple of months. And they put together this big was it 16 or 32? There were so many people involved. And they did the whole fucking thing in one night. You can't do that today. Not with these 5-match PLEs you can. But they did the Deadly Game tournament. And again, it was mostly a bunch of 2-3 minute matches. But it's a memorable tournament. And they crowned the new heavyweight championship by going in there and beating Jey Uso. Like, who cares? That doesn't inspire me. And I'm willing to bet it doesn't inspire too many of you either. So I was thinking of that and like, can you make that work? Yes, you can. You can. And that would take up, as far as Raw goes anyway, there's your month of November as far as Monday Night Raw, building up to this tournament and building up to a new World Heavyweight Champion being crowned. I don't know if that's something that they would consider. Again, they have a couple of War Games matches. Look, I talked about this on Friday. We don't know if the Vision, especially now with Rollins being hurt, we don't know if the Vision is going to be on the heel side of War Games. I watched that show on Friday night, and it sure felt like they were building something with the MFTs and the Wyatt Six. Possibly in War Games, which I think would be terrible. But at least then, if the Vision wasn't involved in that, you could buy into the fact that, well, maybe they would be part of a tournament, and maybe then instead they're wrestling for the World Championship on that show, right? It's doable. It's doable. But I don't know, it just strikes me as we just want to get this over with as quickly as possible and not really have fun with it. I understand they were dealt a bad card. They weren't expecting Seth to get hurt. This was not what they planned for, and they've got to come up with an idea real quick because it affects television for the next few months and into next year. I get all that, right? It's a hard thing to recalibrate your plans on the fly like that. But if you're going to do it, you have to do it anyway. Have fun with it. Make the most of it. And don't just look at it as, well, we got to get this over with as quickly as possible and move beyond this so we could just get back to whatever we were planning on doing. I wish they would do a little bit more. As things stand right now, it don't look like that's what they're going to be doing. Unless, again, the Bronze cause a no contest, and maybe they do something like that. I would certainly like to see it. Now, we also have new tag team champions. AJ Lee are the new I have dubbed the AJ Lee, are the new tag team champions. AJ Styles and Dragon Lee, they ended the very uneventful waste of a Judgment Day tag team title reign. Every single month that goes by, the decision to de-unify the tag team titles last year at WrestleMania looks worse and worse. With each passing month, it looks worse and worse. I mean, it's just, they said it themselves on commentary tonight. Like, this was the second title defense that the Judgment Day had of those tag team titles. They've had those titles since what, June? In May or June? I mean, why do we even have two sets of tag team titles at all in the first place?
Exactly.
But hey, AJ Styles has gold. Not the gold people would probably like to see him have before he retires, although there's still time for that. But we had two other championship matches, both of which were intercontinental title matches, both of which ended with shenanigans here on this show. Fuckery, shenanigans. And then we had Stephanie Vaquer, and we had Roxanne Perez. And I'm a big fan of both women. Two of the best that they have in the women's division. Stephanie's had an incredible year, right? Won multiple championships, just won the Crown Jewel Championship a couple of weeks. Let's take it back to the top here, because we had a very important announcement here at the beginning of this show. We had Lillian Garcia. She was filling in tonight for Alicia Taylor, and she announced the general manager, Adam Pearce, who was already standing in the middle of the city at Saturday night's main event, and he exits the ring unscathed.
Roman Reigns way? in the morning, and I'm still... It's getting kind of cold out here in New York, bro.
Alright, let's go into the other podcaster, JD from New York.
Windows open. Didn't realize the windows were open. Went upstairs to go brush my teeth, rinse my mouth out with mouthwash. I'm like, why is it fucking cold up here? Windows are open. It's 50 degrees. What does it say? 56 degrees. That's actually pretty good. It's good sleeping weather. A lot of you guys fell asleep on Saturday after or maybe during the WrestleDream pay-per-view. Some of you didn't even know what happened. I was unfortunately live until 4 o'clock in the morning, and I'm still suffering because of it. Monday Night Raw didn't really do anything to get me excited, man. I wanted to feel that excitement. I wanted to wake up from the doldrums of the weekend. Not to say that it was a bad show. I actually thought it was a very good show. Very lively crowd in Sacramento, California tonight. I thought the energy was there. We had 3 championship matches tonight. We got some nice storyline progression. And this was a Monday Night Raw that a lot of people were looking forward to just based off the conclusion of last week's show with Seth Rollins. The Vision turned on Seth Rollins. Braun Breaker held up the World Heavyweight Championship. And a lot of people, a lot of creators, a lot of podcasters were exclaiming, me included, they gotta take the chance on Braun Breaker. So we start Monday Night Raw with the only thing that really matters here, and that is the explanation of why everything happened. And what the fate of the World Heavyweight Championship is going to be. The fate of the World Heavyweight Championship, at least half of it anyway, lays in the lap of CM Punk. He's the number 1 contender, at least half of the championship match. He is a number 1 contender, as he beat Jey Uso and LA Knight in a triple threat match last week. He's going to Saturday night's main event to challenge for the now vacant World Heavyweight Championship. Braun Breaker, Paul Heyman, and Bronson Reed show up to the building tonight with Braun Breaker wearing the World Heavyweight Championship around his shoulder. And man, does he look like a World Heavyweight Champion. Braun Breaker looked great with the World Heavyweight Championship around his shoulder. It almost fit too perfectly. They get to the ring. Adam Pearce tells everybody that Seth Rollins is at home. He's not even in the building. He's going to go off to get extensive surgery. He's going to be out for a very long time. And that the World Heavyweight title is now vacant and will be decided in a match at Saturday night's main event in 2 weeks in Utah. How we get to the next number 1 contender here to battle CM Punk on Saturday night's main event, it would be contested in a battle royal. I got tipped off earlier in the day that it would be a battle royal. I didn't really say anything. I moaned and groaned and played Battlefield 6 for 4 hours. Until dinner time. Didn't really care. I was hoping that plans would change. Plans did not change. We got the Battle Royal in the main event to crown a number 1 contender to CM Punk for the vacant World Heavyweight Championship. I feel like we're all starting to sound like a broken record. WWE plays it too safe. WWE takes the safe way. Every time, no matter what, they take the safe route. This is just me speaking firsthand, personally. I greatly dislike battle royals. I think battle royals are like a random open challenge that goes nowhere. You're basically telling me, You know what? We don't care. We're lazy, and we'll get to where we gotta go through the most laziest way possible. It's just a nice 3-segment, 20-minute match that'll get us from point A to point B, and then we'll worry about the CM Punk and whomever match at Saturday night's main event. WWE gave us a battle royal, and it's the laziest way to get to where we need to go. Instead of having fun with the situation, instead of looking at this situation as a mostly positive one, even though you're going to be without Seth Rollins for the next 6 or 7 months, look at it in a positive situation, look at it in a positive way, and have fucking fun with it, man. Have fun with it. JD, why do you hate Battle Royals? Because when I see Tozawa, Kofi Kingston, Grayson Waller in a Battle Royal to crown a new #1 contender opposite CM Punk for the World Heavyweight Championship, I can't take that seriously in any sense of the word. I can't. Otis, or whoever else you want to throw in there so that you could fit the capacity of 20 men, or however many men were in that Battle Royal. It's lazy. El Grande Americano, another one. Love him. He ain't challenging for the World Heavyweight Championship. JD McDonough, no. Now, JD McDonough is not going to Saturday night's main event, no matter how much CM Punk wants to prop him up as a tough son of a bitch. No. It's lazy. It's uncreative. It's uninspired. And this is the problem with the WWE creatively. For the last several weeks, Monday Night Raw has been the best top-to-bottom show all week. SmackDown, NXT, Dynamite. It's not that difficult to be better than Dynamite. They're fucking burying themselves over there. It's the best weekly pro wrestling show all week. They've had such a nice turnaround, man. They're starting to tell stories. They're starting to gel. Things are feeling right on Monday. Things are getting a little bit more exciting. We're going into Survivor Series. We're going into John Cena's final match. Before you know it, it'll be Rumble season. I just can't accept mediocrity. I can't accept safe. I can't accept uninspired and lazy. Well, what I would have done is you knew that you were going into tonight to discuss the World Heavyweight Championship and the future of the World Heavyweight Championship. All you needed to do was have Adam Pearce come out and take a group of guys who he feels, whether they are current or past champions, put them in a little mini tournament, have it play out tonight, going into next week, and then crown a new #1 contender to wrestle CM Punk. Why did we need a battle royal with half of the fucking people in there not being world championship caliber material? Why did we go into a battle royal that did not include Bronson Reed or Braun Breaker? Why did we include a battle royal that had no genuine return or surprise? When I saw the field of however many men that were in there, I was hoping that maybe Gunther would come out and save everybody and give us a real #1 contender. And maybe we'd get a rematch from SummerSlam on night 1 between Gunther and CM Punk. You got the bodies on Monday night. You got the men on Monday night. Give us a little mini tournament. 8 guys. Not that difficult to do. Seriously. Or if you want to do 4 guys. Seriously. Start it next week. Announce it tonight. Start it next week. And then have it bleed into Saturday night's main event. I don't understand the laziness of creative team. Then on top of that, you got Jey Uso winning the Royal Rumble. He won the Royal Rumble. God forbid he wins the Royal Rumble again this year. Jey Uso won the Battle Royal. I don't know why we're constantly pushing Jey Uso near or around the top for the World Heavyweight Championship on Monday night. I don't know. That experiment has failed. I don't want to see that again. I don't want to see that man anywhere near the World Heavyweight Championship. We are so far beyond that now that I don't think anybody wants to see that. Maybe the fucking humanoids in the crowd want to see Yeet and want to do Yeet, but I don't want to see that, nor do I care to see that. I'm a big CM Punk guy. I don't even want to see CM Punk win this championship. I don't want to see CM Punk anywhere near the World Heavyweight Championship. Giving CM Punk the World Heavyweight Championship now that Seth Rollins is out of the picture is fucking lame. You're not going to give CM Punk the World Heavyweight Championship on a Saturday night's main event against Jey Uso in the most unceremonious way possible. The guy is a future World Heavyweight Champion at some point, sure. But now is not the right time to do that. Not 6 months away from WrestleMania. No. No, I'm not going to stand for that. Which is why I don't understand why we didn't have Braun Breaker in the Battle Royal, why we didn't go with Braun Breaker in the Battle Royal in some way, shape, or form. With Braun Breaker and CM Punk in the main event of Saturday night's main event, with Braun Breaker winning the World Championship. I mean, it doesn't have to be fucking overly complicated. It's very cut and dry. Braun Breaker in the Battle Royal, Braun Breaker wins the Battle Royal, Braun Breaker versus CM Punk at Saturday night's main event, Braun Breaker wins the World Heavyweight Championship because we add a new member to the Vision, as Paul Heyman has to rebuild the Vision, and then we go on to War Games. Now, but here we are with Jey Uso and CM Punk, and I don't really care for either one of those guys to win the World Championship, nor do I care about the match. And if you're going to go with somebody in the Battle Royal to have them win the Battle Royal, I don't know why you didn't go with LA Knight when LA Knight and CM Punk have had words for each other for weeks now. But we're right back to Jey Uso and Jimmy Uso and the Bloodline and the story revolving around Jimmy and Jey Uso. So what exactly happens here? Does Jey Uso go heel now? Is Jey Uso going to turn on his brother Jimmy? Is he going to align with Roman Reigns and do things the Roman Reigns way? I don't think we needed the World Heavyweight Championship to flesh out that story. Is Jey Uso going to win the World Heavyweight Championship again? For a second time? Is Roman Reigns going to come back and wrestle Jey Uso? I don't know who would be interested in seeing that. We already saw that for the WWE Championship. Nobody cared. Probably the worst match in Roman's catalog. Over 1,400 days. Nobody wants to see that. Now we're looking at a situation where me as a fan, and I'm just speaking to you personally, this is my point of view. I hope there is no winner. I hope there is no winner at Saturday night's main event. Jey Uso or CM Punk. I hope Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed are so beside themselves after what Adam Pearce did to them tonight that they just fuck everything up. And we go into Survivor Series with no World Heavyweight Champion. Fuck.
you got serious about your lawn. Skag is the brand the pros choose. When it...
I think WWE dropped the ball on this. Someone in the chat said Jey Uso could possibly run the Vision. No. Now, why would you want to see Jey Uso run the Vision? Does Jey Uso fit into the overall structure of what the Vision stands for? No. No, I don't want him anywhere near there. I mean, in theory, it sounds like it would fit perfectly with the Roman Reigns dilemma. They basically turned him into Roman number 2. Turning him into a mini Roman. Now he's got his own faction, he's got his own vision, he's got his oracle. And the only way to stop him is if Roman comes back and he's got to end Jey Uso. Are you interested in seeing that? The only possibility that I see here is that it is unpredictable. You don't know what WWE is going to do, and I guess in that aspect, it's at least a little positive. I just don't know why they wouldn't take a chance on what everybody truly wants, and that is the youth, the future of the company, being placed at the top and being given top billing and top priority. I selfishly want CM Punk away from this show, and I want CM Punk on Friday Night SmackDown, and I want CM Punk not to win the Royal Rumble because the Elimination Chamber is in Chicago this year. I want CM Punk to win the Elimination Chamber and challenge Cody Rhodes for the WWE Championship at WrestleMania. I don't want to see anything else. I think WWE dropped the ball on this. If they were going to go with somebody, LA Knight should have won it. But Saturday night's main event is set. Jey Uso, CM Punk, World Heavyweight Championship on the line. We will crown a new World Heavyweight Champion, maybe. There were 3 title matches tonight. Tag Team Championship on the line. Intercontinental Championship on the line for the men and the women. Maxine Dupree and Becky Lynch. Becky had a great promo with Paul Heyman. I don't know what that means for Seth Rollins upon his return, but Becky is not very pleased with Paul Heyman. Maxine Dupree again showed up tonight. Crowd was very behind her. Hometown pop. It was not better than their first match, or their previous match, I should say. I do think this is the 3rd time that they've wrestled in total. This was not better than the last match that they had. I did not expect a title change. And WWE really didn't do anything to tell you that there would be another one, because Becky Lynch very unceremoniously cheated to retain the championship and lost via DQ. Maxine won via DQ, and they quickly moved on to whatever was coming next. Men's Tag Team Championships, the World Heavyweight Tag Team Championships on the line. It was AJ Lee. Not that AJ Lee. Not Punk's AJ Lee. AJ Styles and Dragon Lee against JD McDonough and Finn Balor. We have new Tag Team Championships. We're champions. That was a great match. Loved what they did there. Not that there is any kind of division, but I do like the change of scenery of the Tag Team Championships. And Dominic Mysterio defended his men's Intercontinental Championship against Rusev, and he continues to just be smarter than his opponents. Dominic has incredible ring IQ. He knows what's going on around him. He's like Spider-Man. He knows where to be, what to do, how to get out of sticky situations. Dominic is still the Intercontinental Champion after he beat Rusev again. Who was it that reported that Rusev and Aleister Black, then Malachi Black in AEW, Miro in AEW, who was it again that said that they refuse to put people over? Man, that narrative has quickly come to a screeching dead. The sickos are probably up in arms that their fearless leader, Dave Meltzer, once again got something incorrect. We're going to go over Monday Night Raw tonight. I thought all in all it was a good show. It continues to be the best weekly television show. And we're going to go over what happened here tonight on this Monday night. It is your Monday, October 20th, 2025. Thank you guys again for joining me. We got 2,300 people in here. I'm not going to waste any more of your time, really. Just want to... Heyman's vision. Heyman is going to lead a group of youthful, up-and-coming main eventers to the top. That's the way it should be. I'm not having CM Punk align with Paul Heyman and lead the vision. That would not make any sense. I'm not having Jey Uso align with the vision. That would not make any sense. To do what? To get back at Roman? To prove Roman wrong? To prove his brother wrong? I mean, I don't understand why anybody would want that. Like, I'm not turning Jey Uso heel. I mean, Jey Uso came out tonight and he took a 3-month, 4-month-old baby in his arms tonight and yeeted during his entrance. Yes, WWE is going to turn Jey Uso heel. Sure. That would be ass backwards business-wise. I don't know if you're Netflix, you want to see a heel Jey Uso. Or you're ESPN and want to see a heel Jey Uso. That's the best course of action for the vision. I don't know why Braun Breaker was given the shaft tonight, which we'll get into in a little bit, but I genuinely don't know what they have planned for Saturday night's main event. I just find that to be absolutely unceremonious in every single aspect if you give either Jey Uso or CM Punk, more so CM Punk because his whole thing was winning a World Heavyweight Championship. Why would you give him a World Heavyweight Championship? Why would you give him the second-rate World Heavyweight Championship on a Saturday night's main event in Utah and not build that up to be something more special? That just sounds asinine to me, bro. Completely asinine. And nobody wants to see Jey Uso hold the World Heavyweight Championship. Not with Gunther returning and Braun Breaker now fucking absolutely roaming free. Like, I don't understand why you'd go right back to Jey Uso. I mean, I don't know what more of an explanation you really needed here. I think they hit on all the points. Rollins was hurt. He couldn't lead them to the future. He couldn't lead the vision the way that they needed with a bum shoulder, so they dumped the deadweight. Braun Breaker knew it. Bronson Reed knew it. After Crown Jewel, they both knew it. They conspired to get rid of him. This is not what we asked for. This is not what we signed up for. And they made a plan. They made a pact to get rid of him and take a spot. Paul Heyman says that they're future main event, WrestleMania main event guys, and they proved it. They did what they had to do. They took Heyman's advice and they did it. So if you're looking at the explanation as, well, it's lame, well, it's weak, no. They gave you everything you needed to know. And Heyman, who is a snake oil salesman, as Becky Lynch put it tonight, or a cheap car salesman, he is going to hitch his wagon to whatever is hot. Braun Breaker is the youngest up-and-coming future star in the company. He's got the most equity out of everybody else right now on the main roster that is a youth, or at least a part of the youth movement. So Paul Heyman's going to hitch his wagon to Braun Breaker. Bronson Reed's along for the ride, which I'm happy he is, because he's fucking great.
Yeah.
Paul Heyman was never in a partnership with Seth Rollins. It was always out of convenience.
Yeah.
What did I say last week? What did I say the week before that? Paul Heyman was given a choice. You either get curb stomped into oblivion, or you do me a favor. And he did Seth Rollins a favor. This was not because Paul Heyman wanted to be aligned with Seth Rollins. This is not because Paul Heyman wanted to be a part of Seth Rollins' vision. Paul Heyman did what he had to do because it was a favor to Seth Rollins, and it was not a partnership based on true intentions. It was a partnership based on convenience. I do for you, you do for me. And that was it. Paul Heyman played it up like it was going to be some big deal. Whether this happened last week or 6 months from now, after WrestleMania, it was going to happen regardless. In fact, I actually like the fact that there is no more Rollins vision, because quite honestly, the show is becoming stagnant.
Yeah, we're getting boring.
Rollins is great. And I said it last week and I'll say it again. Rollins is not fit to lead a group.
Exactly.
Rollins is not the guy. Rollins, he was growing stale.
Yeah, he was getting boring. Rollins, he's not Roman Reigns. You ain't gonna do what he did with the Bloodline. You were getting boring. It was getting stale. It's not about Rollins. He's already established. It's all about pushing the new guy, Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed. They don't need Rollins. Rollins did not need a Paul Heyman. Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed, they need Paul Heyman. Rollins will be fine on his own.
Even though he's probably the wrestler of the year in WWE. They sped things up in light of his injury, and that is a positive. That is a great thing. Sure, we'll be without Seth Rollins, but now that gives everybody an opportunity to maybe call someone up who you think is going to be in the main event. And when you get Seth Rollins back, hopefully whoever they replace Rollins with, hopefully by the time Rollins comes back, not only do they have another main event guy ready to break out, but they get a guy ready for the main event back in Seth Rollins. And Monday Night Raw is going to be better off for it. The explanation was on point. They said everything they needed to do. They vacated the World Heavyweight Championship. Battle Royal, uninspired, is a Battle Royal. I personally would have announced the tournament. I would have had this entire show revolve around announcing the men in the tournament. Whether it was 4 men, 2 matches next week, and the finals taking place the week of Saturday night's main event. Or that may be next week. I would have had all 3 matches take place next week. The 2 semi-final matches, and then the finals. Crown a #1 contender, have that person go on to Saturday night's main event and wrestle CM Punk. They should have dragged it out. At least, if they did it that way, it would have gave the television show a little bit more meaning. All right, we got a vacate of the World Heavyweight Championship this week. We got names announced for this little mini tournament next week, chosen by Adam Pearce, and names chosen that fit the bill for World Heavyweight Champion. You do that all next week, you go into Saturday night's main event, you do what you got to do at Saturday night's main event, and then on to Survivor Series. No, but instead they gave you a Battle Royal tonight with Jey Uso winning. We go into next week less excited about Jey Uso winning and a Battle Royal taking place, less excited going into next week after we got the conclusion of this week's show. I don't know why they don't have fun anymore, man. They show you glimpses of doing things right. They show you glimpses of fun. And they just continue to want to be safe and lazy and just blah. Maybe it's just me. Do you guys agree?
Yeah.
Does the chat agree?
Yeah.
Was it lazy?
Of course
Was
it
it
was.
uninspired? Because I certainly feel like it was.
Yeah, me too. They gotta do better.
Take a little sidebar here.
Hopefully they swerve us.
We got a 100!
Or maybe it's SummerSlam. to Braun Breaker and Roman Reigns, with Breaker being crowned and beating Roman and having the moment and whatnot. So that's kind of how I thought it.
Let's build a better industry.
And she wishes that when she was the champion, somebody would have given her that advice. Stephanie says, I owe you one.
Dragon Lee. From that, we go right to the backstage live in the arena. Dominic walks into the Judgment Day clubhouse as they're all getting ready for their big night. Dominic walks in, and none of them wanted to see him there or hear from him or have anything to do with him. They are very much anti-Dominic right now. Dominic told JD and Balor that he didn't say anything other than it's unfair. He has to defend his title every week while they're complaining about facing AJ Styles and Dragon Lee. Why are you guys worried about AJ Styles and Dragon Lee? I've beaten both of them. Balor says, oh yeah? Don't worry about us. We'll take care of them. JD McDonough looks over at Dominic and says, well, you're going to handle business with Rusev all by yourself. None of us are going to be out there with you. Balor and JD left to go to the ring. Roxanne, she tried to give Dominic a pep talk. Raquel Rodriguez got frustrated at Roxanne, telling her to stay focused because she had a big match tonight against Stephanie Vaquer. Non-title. One-on-one. So we go right into the tag team title match. Finn Balor and JD McDonough against AJ Styles and Dragon Lee. Now, the tag team division is basically non-existent on Monday night. We got JD McDonough and Finn Balor. We have this new team, apparently, of AJ Styles and Dragon Lee, which is not really a tag team. They're just randomly thrown together singles performers who have nothing better to do. The New Day, who I don't know week by week if they're healthy or if they're injured. And then the War Raiders. And that's it. If there are other teams in the division, I'm sorry. I don't know who they are or why I would care. I was actually looking forward to this. And believe it or not, this was easily the best match of the entire night.
Yeah.
We've gotten some great tag team wrestling over the course of the weekend. We had two very good matches at WrestleDream. One with Bro Dito against Okada and Takeshita, which was probably the match of the night at WrestleDream. And I enjoyed Jurassic Express and the Young Bucks.
I might well, I probably should end the video. I think I made it long enough. Thank you for watching. Thank you for all the support. Hit that like button, leave a comment. Please subscribe to my channel. Until next time, I'll see y'all later.
Then we got this. Dragon Lee and AJ Styles are the new WWE World Tag Team Champions.
Hold on.
Match went 13 minutes.
Yeah, I'm gonna end the video. I'll see y'all later.